So he says, look, I've been kind of dating this girl, and it really hasn't gone anywhere, and it's sort of fizzled out into a friendship now. And so I think that you two might kind of get along. So would it be weird if I introduced the two of you? Yeah, that would really be weird. Not only are we talking about sloppy seconds here, but the previous diner is actually serving me the meal, right? So, but I'm bummed out enough that I say, okay, sure, connect us. Now, folks may not remember this, but in early 2006, grown-ups really weren't on Facebook yet, so I had no idea, I had no way to figure out what this girl looked like, right? A lot of folks in this room were probably the ones who were like, oh, I'll never join Facebook, ew. You're the same people who in 1999 were also like, I'll never get a cell phone, those things are stupid, you know who you are. So I have no way to figure out what this girl looks like, but we started doing this little email exchange, you know, whatever, what's your favorite band, what do you like to do, a bunch of crap no one cares about. And I finally say, look, maybe we should get together and hang out. And she says, sure, that sounds good. Which brings me to my next problem. I was working for this little nonprofit at the time, and I was making absolutely no money. So I call up my friend, and I say, I've got to go on a first date with this girl, and the amount of money that I want to spend on it is nothing. So how can we swing that? He says, no problem. Take her on a walk. Girls love that shit. So I say, perfect. We both lived in Fairmount at the time, so we go for a walk around Fairmount. We go up the art museum steps. We look out at the city. There's even some hand-holding towards the end. It's all very cute. We're having a good time. We get to the end of the night. I'm walking her back to her place, and she starts to get real nervous because it's that end of first date thing, you know. And I stop just before I get to her stoop, and she basically sprints up to the top of her stoop and starts like talking to me and giggling and getting all nervous and awkward. And I know that she totally wants me to come up there and kiss her, but she also doesn't want me to come up there and kiss her, and she definitely doesn't want me to think that she wants me to kiss her. And knowing that that's going on, I think to myself, I'm totally in. Perfect. Here's the other thing I think to myself at that moment. We'll call this girl Libby, not a real name. I'm never, ever going to fall in love with Libby. In fact, I'm never even going to feel kind of attracted to her. She's a totally pretty girl. She's very nice, you know, not bad to look at, but there's not even a hint of a spark on my side. But I start dating her anyway, because I'm bummed out, and she makes me feel better. And so we do a thing you don't often hear about straight dudes doing and enter into a completely sexless relationship. Because I have absolutely no interest in sleeping with this girl, and when you're dating a girl in the city, that's going to come up, or not come up, as the case may be eventually. And there was a lot of cuddling and a lot of talking, but there was never going to be sex, and I was pretty straightforward with her about it. And it would really bum her out, and I would say, look, you're welcome to leave me at any time. I won't hold it against you. But she didn't. And we had a really good time. It was one of the best relationships I was ever in. We would laugh our asses off in bed, and I would ask myself, why is it that I can't fall in love with this girl? And then I would remember the time that I kind of forced myself to try to get intimate with her and started to gag. And that's why I could never fall in love with this girl. So let's fast forward to the epilogue here. The relationship fell apart as it had to, right? It happened at a party. I went there with her, and this coworker who I was completely in love with was also at the party, and seeing the two of them together and knowing how all I could think about is where my coworker was and how I didn't really care where my girlfriend was, made me realize that I wasn't doing the right thing and I needed to end it. So we broke up. But another thing you need to know is that wasn't actually the first time that I broke up with Libby. I'd actually broken up with her once before because I met this girl who I was attracted to, but a couple of weeks into dating her, she turned out to be so tediously materialistic that I couldn't stand talking to her. So that fell apart, and then I had this party that I had to put together, and Libby was really awesome at that kind of thing. So I called her, and she helped me, and we kind of started getting back together, right? And there was this day where we'd been seeing each other again for about 2 months, and I referred to her as my girlfriend, and she kind of flipped out, and I didn't know why, but whatever. She said, yeah, sure, I'm your girlfriend, I guess. I mean, obviously she was a little guarded after the fact that I'd left her once before. So after the breakup went down, Libby calls me doing it. So we get together and she says, I got 2 things I gotta tell you. The first thing is, I think you're a giant dick for letting me date you and having a sexless relationship. And I'm like, fine, whatever. I was honest about it. And the second thing she said was, so from the moment we started redating again to that afternoon when you called me your girlfriend, I'd actually been sleeping with one of my ex-boyfriends through that whole time. So she needed to confess to me that, in a way, kinda, sorta, she'd been cheating on me. And when she said it to me, for 1 millisecond, I was totally pissed off. And in the next millisecond, I realized